So let's go ahead and start digging into some of these topics, man. And Nova, yours is up first. So why don't you set us up with it, man?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Tom Warren of The Verge. They reported that Microsoft is teaming up with Meta once again to create a limited edition Meta Quest VR headset that's inspired by Xbox, right? So not of Xbox, but quote unquote inspired by Xbox. CEO Mark Zuckerberg says this version of the headset that is being teased comes out of the box with the Xbox controller and Game Pass, so you can immediately just start playing on a big screen anywhere you go. This is kind of like a continued partnership from the end of last year when it was reported that the Xbox Cloud Gaming app beta landed on the MetaQuest store. So you know some of the Xbox people were able to get a hold of their Game Pass and all those games in your catalog. So I'm gonna toss it to you first, Cog. Um, what is this signifying for this type of partnership, this continued partnership? And is this something that they're doing to kind of boost the Game Pass for Xbox?
Yeah, man, this is it's really exciting. Obviously, formerly being at Meta and seeing what they continue to do is interesting because I was part of that pilot in that program to actually beta test from the initial Quest 2 and the Quest Pro Xbox Game Pass on
Mm,
on the device. And one of the things I wanted to do immediately was really stress test it because obviously there's certain games we know that really do well with as far as like cloud gaming and stuff like that. But there's certain games that stress it, like FPS and
mhm.
that one-to-one kind of ratio with first person shooter. But I remember I sat there and I kind of like configured the screen on my headset on my device, and then I remember saying, I'm gonna do infinite. I want to do
Okay.
infinite
Mm,
multiplayer. I'm gonna try to
Okay.
break this. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Kind of things. I got my controller and I'm getting it in, and I was really impressed. I'm like, if this is the early stages, and again, Quest 3 wasn't out at the time. The only thing was Pro. I was very impressed. So what it showed me is one, because we saw Satya Nadella come out and initiate that partnership as far as Game Pass, where it works for Xbox, they want Game Pass on every screen. They want it on every device, right?
Yeah.
So virtual reality is something that I actually never faulted Xbox for not diving 100% in, because to me the focus was always on games, getting your library up, making your platform the best it could be with this service that you're now promoting forefront, which is Game Pass. Game Pass to me is kind of the platform now. So it made sense. And then with Meta, they're always looking to expand. And I think what they announced today was very interesting because they're allowing the OS to go on other hardware, like, to merge
Mhm.
with other people. That's significant. And I think what Zuck said also something that's like, every version of this headset that who they partner with is going to be specialized. So for Xbox, it will be like you said with the controller Nova. It will be, it will have some gaming centric hardware tendencies that's going to synergize with that. That's exciting me.
Mhm.
They even talk about things for people with fitness and stuff like that. So I think the long game for Meta is probably looking at obviously not having an open situation where the wall garden is coming. I think this is the reality everybody has to accept. This is even with
Yes.
console gaming. The wall gardens are slowly coming down, and we're
Mhm.
starting to see that. And these guys want money, and
Yeah.
it's a race to who can kind of maximize that revenue. And I know Google's kind of half in, half out, but Meta's looking at them and they're like, hey, if we got our OS with these other hardware manufacturers and we can generate revenue, why not? So yeah, this is a very interesting partnership for me personally. Of course, I'm going to get the device, the sleek black with the green,
Yeah,
even though it was a
yeah, it'd be
mock-up.
nice.
It
Yeah,
looked kind
yeah,
of
yeah. It
nice,
looked nice. Yeah.
it looked
Yeah.
Hey,
kind
to
of
your
nice.
to your point, Cog,
Mhm,
you said that the wall
mhm.
gardens are coming down. They're also being regulated now. Like if you
Yes,
take
good
a
point.
point, like look at the EU, what they're doing with Apple and their
Yes,
phones and the stores and stuff. I think they're just trying to. Everybody's getting ahead of it.
good
They
point,
know
brother.
they because what's
Point.
going to happen in the EU is going to sweep across and just come. It's going to come here eventually.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's the bet a lot of them are making, right? And if you are proactive in having your device, your OS, your software on different hardware, if these wall gardens come down with all this litigation, who's going to be in position to take advantage of
Right.
it, right? Meta
Yep.
and Microsoft. So these are the bets these companies are taking. It's a very interesting time right now when you see these type of announcements.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely, man. Definitely. So I'm going to toss it to you next, Viking. The same question, and also, could you further expound upon what you think about the this OS as well?
The Horizon OS.
Yes.
I mean, I haven't played with the 3, the MetaQuest 3, but
Yeah, neither have I.
the 2 though. I mean, I liked it, bro. I remember when I first got it. We got it for Christmas. We got it for like the whole family, and I was setting it up and everything, and then I was like, you know what, let this be the gift that we open up a couple days early and everybody can play or whatever. And I looked at Alyssa, she was playing, she looked at me, and I was like, can we go get another one? Because like this the store was about to close. It was Christmas Eve, and I was like, all right, bet. So we drove up and we got another one, man, because it was fantastic, man. And my main game on there was Poker Stars. Poker Stars was so much. It's so funny, bro.
You're real in Poker Stars too.
Yeah,
Lobbies
it's just so
lit.
funny, man. As far as like when I read the blog post and then listened to Zuck a little bit, one thing that interested me a lot was like the first of 3 partners, right? So like you have Asus, Lenovo, and then Xbox. I think Asus is more interesting in a way because they said they're going to build a performance gaming headset, meaning probably getting rid of all the bloat that's behind her the OS and just make it strictly about gaming, which I'm very interested to see. Lenovo is like, what's it, peripherals? I ain't write that shit down. Lenovo was doing something with the headset. I forgot though. And then you have the Xbox partnership, which like didn't they say they was just going to add a controller and then like make it what I want to see, man, and I don't know if this is going to work though. You know how like whenever you have it attached to the PC, did you guys do that? It's not called AirLink. It's called
No.
Is it called AirLink?
No, you got it. It's AirLink. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. But the one to where I thought AirLink was the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi one.
Yeah, it's Wi-Fi, but it allows you to connect to your PC, so you can do like the Steam games for the guys that want to do like Half-Life Alyx and stuff that's not natively on the MetaQuest store.
Got you. But I used it for flight sim all the time for my PC, but it had to be plugged in USB-C to USB-C. And unfortunately, because my idea was like, fuck, this would be so cool if I could plug this into my Xbox, right? And run everything natively from there. So instead of me watching or playing a game on my 65-inch, I now have the theater natively running natively, right? Which would be so fucking dope. But I don't know if they can change that to where it can go into, because it's still USB 3.0, right? Or 3.2 that's on the Xbox, but it's not USB-C. So I don't know if the bandwidth would be able to handle that, unfortunately. But still, an AirLink thing would be really cool, so I could play. Did you try that, Cog, whenever you tested it? Did you try to what's it called? Go on the what's the shit called for Xbox where so I use it on my ROG all the time, where you can play not natively but over the cloud. You can connect to your Xbox,
like the browser streaming, or like which
you're streaming from your Xbox, kind of like what the Portal does.
Oh, I see what you say. Yeah. That functionality I didn't test specifically, but I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
So I don't know if that's already out there, but I would like to see something like that to where it works a lot better. So I think that would be super tight. But the most interesting part to me is having all these developers or all these manufacturers build their own. I mean, they said, you know what? Because I fucking love. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. I fucking love Zuckerberg because first of all, they kind of crushed the PSVR 2 because that shit had to be tethered. Meta was like, no, ours is untethered, and you can tether it and make it more powerful. You can connect it to whatever you want to. It's great. PSVR 2 had great games. It looked good. The hardware was good, but it was expensive as shit, and it had to be tethered. None of your PSVR 1 games transferred over. It was a whole thing, right? Yeah. Which made it very unattractive to some people. And then Apple released theirs, and theirs is like 3,000 bones, right? And they just announced today that they're cutting production because people are wanting it.
Yeah.
I think people want it, but I don't think people can afford it.
That price.
That price. No.
The price point is crazy, right? But this was happening whenever what Zuck did. Whenever all the kumbaya shit was happening, like 4 games going over or whatever, and then this is unrelated, but everybody was like, "Where's this competitive energy? We like, we need to see that Matt Booty from the FTC trial and all this other stuff, right?"
Spread them out of business,
right?
That energy,
and then Zuck went live talking ass shit about the Apple Vision Pro.
He was in his bag.
I was like, where we need this energy, bro. Like, but no, shout out to, I need to give Zuck his flowers for the meta, because I think they've done everything right, probably besides the name change. But we'll get over that, I'm sure.
Mama call it Oculus, it's gonna be Oculus to me always. I was there when I got hired. I was there when it was Oculus. It didn't change like maybe 3 to 4 months after.
Oh, really?
I was just like, oh man. I still got the Oculus hoodie though. I don't care.
Do you?
Got that limited edition.
Got that limited, you know what I'm saying? But to add on to your point before we move on, is just that you're making a good point, Viking. It says that I have to give it to them as far as the commitment to the actual platform, the games, and the first party studios, things of that nature. And I tell people all the time, like, people have to try Asgard's Wrath 2. That is a killer app. That is literally a killer. So they had the software. They learned their lesson from the Pro. The Oculus Pro. Don't outprice yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? You get in that $500 to $300 range, right? And to your point, being untethered, being wireless is huge. Because again, I got the PSVR 2, and that was one of my main nitpicks. I'm always cognizant of this wire that I gotta, I might, trip over is gonna be, connected to it, and then you can run it independently of a PS5. That's the thing with the Quest. I think that all that extra functionality, and then Skelly said it best too, back compat. Having that entire library of Quest 1, Quest 2 games coming with you is huge in a genre that's trying to establish itself. And I think, they made some key mistakes. You already see now PSVR 2 trying to backtrack and kind of now make some form of PC connectivity now. Right. Yeah, because they went so exclusive, and I think it may have backfired on them. And the software just hasn't been there. But salute the meta. They've been consistent in the space.
So if we can see what Meta's been doing, like to me, they've dominated the VR space for some time, like now. And we could see, I would guess I would call them the market leader. I've seen the charts, the market leader of VR, and they're saying they're going to open up. It leads to software is king, and everybody's gonna be opening up. So
about that revenue, bro.
So those are my thoughts, Nova.
Because they have a good product at the right price point. You know what I mean? And they really did a good job when it came to separating like your Facebook account from the Quest account.
That was another mistake.
I worked on that. I worked on that. I got this.
Really?
I was me. I was on them. I said, you guys have to separate. I don't want my government name Facebook account associated with my gaming persona. No. They didn't understand it, because I was like, no hardcore gamer is going to buy your device. So I was part of that Horizon initiative. I'm very proud of that one. I'm glad you said that. That was the only thing. When I was there, I could put my stamp on that. I fought tooth and nail in those meetings. You have to remove that. Gamers cannot stand it. And last point, I know I interrupted you, but the other thing with Xbox that I like is that even though people are like, Xbox, you need to be on VR, you need to be on, this is a perfect way for them to dip their toe.
Yes.
They see success. They don't have to do the heavy lifting. Let's just say it pops off. Maybe that inspires them to do a little bit more with integration with a flight simulator or whatever. Who knows what can happen, because it's a low risk, high reward kind of situation if it pops off. So I think it's interesting strategy by both of these companies.
Because like you could say they put the Surface team. It's like, we don't have to do the software portion. We've been struggling doing, like, they have it down packed. We'll just partner with them. We'll get our Surface team to work on a headset or whatever, and then there we go. Or we can just partner with Asus, right, and be like, hey, make sure it has this kind of integration into our Xbox, and then there you go. Like, it's much less risk for them to dip their toes in, like you said. But yeah, go ahead though. Sorry.
But no, man, you're good, man. Like, to be honest, like, thank you again for that, Cog, because that was one thing that kept me off the headset for a while, because I take periodic breaks from social media, you know what I mean? So there's been a lot of times I very rarely get on Facebook at all today, if you know, so I didn't want to have to keep that activated just to play a headset and have all these things connected. I just wanted to play some video games on my video gaming device, right? So thank you again for that. If you have, you know, since you have part of that. But I'm gonna go ahead and toss it to you next, Scale. So what do you think about this ongoing partnership? We've gone from the cloud gaming app at the end of last year to this new collaborative effort on a Xbox-like device coming from Meta. What do you think about this?
I think the same things as Viking and Cog, and I agree that dipping that toe in, boy, it's just a little dip. It's a little dip. That's the best thing. That's like the best like thing they could do. I was like, oh, that's how they're doing. They're going to put out a special edition, and it's going to be clean, and it's going to come with Game Pass. It's probably going to last like a month, hopefully more than that, maybe 30 days, hopefully a good little bit. You know, doesn't really matter. Just to get you in, you going to pay because you got the device now. You're going to, so it doesn't matter. They got you and a controller. I was like, I could kind of deal with that, but I just feel like that's just a good move because they don't have to face any backlash, and it looks like, hey, Xbox is cool with VR. We don't have one yet, but we're cool. All right, we cool. You know what I mean? So I actually like this move. I actually own one of those because of Viking. I have a MetaQuest 2, I think is what it is. Oculus 2. I have one of those, and I'm telling you, when I put that thing on, bro, I had to been on there for like 6 hours straight. I know for sure it went from daytime to nighttime because I came out that thing and I was like, where? It's nighttime? It's what time? What's happening? Bro, I was into it. And I feel like having an Xbox collab type of device will get people a good introduction into it. That'll get people wanting to get one as well, especially it's like, oh, I can use this to play my Game Pass stuff, and I've been wanting to check it out. So it's and like y'all were saying, the wall gardens y'all hit all the points. The wall gardens being down, also and regulated. That's a crazy thing to go on with this, and Meta being like, when I tried the Quest out, the Quest 2, I was like, this thing is affordable. I kind of feel like this needs to be in every single household, Dusty or not. I just feel like it needs to be.
I feel like it needs to go to Dusty, dude. They just try the games. They just try the games. They had to do it like that.